It's the beginning of another weekend. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me.
Good morning.
Hello. Morning. Hi, Topsy.
I'm
this
smelling
dress,
myself.
Remember this dress from Tismat?
Yes, Tismat.
Yes,
that was our introduction to Tismat, you know. And it's been
still really,
almost 4 years, and it's really nice.
Oh, I can't even remember my first. I think I'll give you mine out, though. But this looks really good.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. So today is World Hypertension Day, and I will be hosting a Facebook Live sponsored by Reader Herbal Health. So it's going to be on Facebook and it's going to be on Instagram. And I'll be interviewing 3 doctors. So the idea is just to get people to know that what you don't know still kills. So don't be thinking, I don't know what my numbers are. So the campaign is know your numbers. Go and get your blood pressure checked. Hypertension is still the number 2 killer in Nigeria, actually most of sub-Saharan Africa, apart from malaria. So it's killing people because they don't know their numbers. It shouldn't kill anybody because it is something that if medicated, you can live healthy, long life with hypertension. So I'm sure we'll talk about it even next week because the producers are saying that we would also talk about it next week, but you can catch it on Facebook and I've tweeted about it too, so you can also follow up. But get yourself checked.
Nima has a lot
Lots of lectures going on. Ramadan lectures. You're in demand. I know my cousin called me to give you her number, Larry.
I've always had the Larry's number. I was shocked that she's Larry day over there. But my Godo Muslim community wants me to talk to their singles and married on Islamic marriages and courtship.
Wow, that's good.
And it's a very, very juicy area for me. It's something I wake up like this and I can tell you about. So I'm not going to be doing too much of research. All the verses are available. But that's for next week, Saturday. For 24th, is this Saturday? I'll confirm the date. I'm also speaking. I'm a panelist tomorrow at the Dare to Inspire 3rd edition.
The loaded panel.
In fact, loaded panel. So we're going to be talking about Muslim women inclusion in the digital world and how we cope. So a lot of us, the actress is there, I am there, and is over-registered already. That's the painful part. So they had to cut down registration, and people started calling me. I'm not part of the organizers. But this morning I have a sincere apology to render to one of the fans of Your View based on my comments on the show, Irene Fax. She had suffered, her mom actually had suffered the condition has, that, you know, after her birth, her mother couldn't actually carry any pregnancies. And until she started having children, her mom kept worrying and trying to have she tried over 8 times. So I felt the sensitivity and, you know, the lack of sensitivity when I made that comment, how it affected people. I felt the need to apologize to herself and to Inse herself. I'd like to understand what more.
We'd like to bring Inse to the show. Because many women might be going through this and they don't know and they will draw strength from her.
I'm seriously scared this morning because I found out a family friend is going through a terminal illness. And, you know, we can't reach that person. I lost a friend last Ramadan because I didn't probe further. So I'm just worried. But tomorrow's event, I'll get to the 3rd part in the papers. Trust me, there's the 3rd part.
She's balling. It's Ramadan.
We're having our own Ramadan lecture tomorrow, so please come. It's not that we have our own lecture. I think starting 10 a.m.
This is not Ramadan lecture. It just happened to happen in
Ramadan season.
Because it's targeting Muslims.
You call it the Ramadan lecture. You call it what you want, but it's tomorrow on TVC, so please come 10 a.m.
And the TV season will be very loaded as well. Sheikh Abraman Ahmed is the guest speaker. You don't want to miss him. So the fiqh and all the lessons you need to learn, those are my sheikhs.
So fantastic. Hey, madam. Our yellow popo. How are you doing?
I'm well.
She's not looking at my mouth.
I think for me to respond, I think I should just say, Jesus, you love me too much.
Trust me, I understand that.
Too much, too much, excess love. You know, when things are going well, when work is going on back to back, I got into the country yesterday morning, flew to another state, came back to Lagos. Now I'm here this morning, and I have 2 more modules left for my MBA to be completed. Oh gosh, I can't wait. I think I'm just going to celebrate with all my girlfriends. Then what else again? My kids are doing well. I'm in a good place.
Fantastic.
And God is faithful.
That is
That's
good.
That's good. That's good. It's good to know.
Invaluable. Honestly.
That's what we want, because regardless of what happens, the important thing is that you survive, you're happy, and you can celebrate. That's the most important part. Please, enjoy this life. Please. Not stress. Please. Anyway, I'm doing great. But guess what? Yesterday was Temidire's birthday. That's Waike's grandson. He was born yesterday.
Big boy.
And we're wishing him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So Waike is on the phone. Hello, Waike.
Oh, she's online.
In the building.
How are you?
We're good, Grandma. How is Temidire?
He's fine. He's here. He's watching the show.
So how
I
you
wish
smiling?
it was a video call so you could see him.
Yes. So how was the birthday party yesterday? Oh, look at the picture. So cute. Oh. Oh, Waike.
Waike, I've renamed him Temi Smiling. This smiles just shouldn't leave him.
He can smile. Honestly.
Waike,
I think he can smile for Nigeria.
Waike. How is taking care of the baby? How is it?
It's not easy.
You're a natural.
At least it's still hanging in there.
You're right.
She's a natural. Waike.
But I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying him. He's such a cutie pie.
So tell us about your daily routine. You wake up in the morning. What time do you wake up? Diaper, the whole stuff.
Today I got up at 5.
Okay.
His mom leaves for work at 8.
Okay.
So we've been together since 7. His mom wants to say, because his mom is still breastfeeding.
Right.
So she expresses her milk for me. So I have the milk.
Right.
He waves to his mom, goodbye.
That's your day.
That's nice. He's 1 year old, so he knows Grandma very well.
Oh,
that's so
he
good.
knows me. He knows me very well.
Okay, you're living the life. I'm so blessing God for you. I'm blessing God for you. This is the life. You have your child. You have your grandchild.
And we appreciate the sacrifice you're making. You have to leave everything in Lagos just to be with that little boy. That's a huge sacrifice, Waike. Well done.
I pray God rewards you.
Well done.
Thank you. All
right.
Thank you so much. And I'm watching you. I'm enjoying the show.
Thank you, Waike.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Continue watching. Don't disgrace me, I wish I was there with the Makeredulu's comments.
Waike, please cut the phone.
I already got your feedback.
All right. Say on the marijuana.
Yes.
That's the topic you'll be interested in, marijuana matters. Anyways, let's go on the break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to go through the papers. I'm going to start with Vanguard. Obasanjo mom, as Atiku, Afenifere fight Oba of Lagos. Buhari's victory has demystified Obasanjo, says Oba Akiolu. Says Atiku will fail at the tribunal. And Atiku replies and says, allow tribunal to do his job and face traditional issues. INEC shifts Kogi Bayelsa gubernatorial polls to November 16th. FG to disburse another 649 billion Paris Club refund to states. Senate concurs with reps, passes bill to make June 12 Democracy Day. And lack of strong legislature, reason governors run states as personal empire, says Dogara. Major headline. Please, who has that story? Please tread carefully. It's my Oba.
It's okay. Me, I have Oba of Benin on my side.
So if you miss Yan, we'll package you to
kingdoms are separate. The Oba of Lagos, had decided to talk on the post-elections issues and said, yes, the victory that Buhari got from the just concluded election was a proof that Obasanjo is not God and that God destines a person for wherever they get. It demystified him. And he went further, and I think that's where the reply started to come to say that Atiku's sojourn whatever at the tribunal is doomed already, is definitely going to fail. So that started to get the people who should know, because Yinka Odumakin is Yoruba, and he knows that one Robafi, but he decided to reply and say the Oba should stay on the traditional matters.
Was it Odumakin that said that article?
Yinka Odumakin in the Vanguard.
Yes, said that he should leave politics.
Yinka speaking for them. And Atiku himself also had joined issues. But Atiku is not Yoruba, but Yinka should know. But then the other two should maintain.
Who has the INEC story in Kogi and Bayelsa?
Okay, so the INEC election, INEC has postponed the election from November 2nd to November 14th in Kogi and Bayelsa states. The reason for Bayelsa was because after they announced it about 2 weeks ago, there was a protest explaining clearly that legally within Bayelsa State, they have declared the 2nd of November Thanksgiving Day within that community. And so because it is a legal thing, INEC went back and reviewed when next they could do the election. And so it's been carried out. It's going to be carried out, moved 2 weeks. Okay. So that's just the basics of the news.
Let's move on to The Nation. 649 billion naira Paris Club refund ready for states to share. Police parade 93 suspected highway robbers and kidnappers. Loom is a Ponzi scheme, SEC warns. Senate approves June 12 as Democracy Day. Editors seek waivers on newsprint orders. Let's talk about the parade of 93 suspected kidnappers. Go ahead.
Yeah, so yesterday the police arrested armed robbers, tourists along the bandits. And Niger State, Katsina State, Kaduna State, especially on the Kaduna-Abuja highway. And it was said that 35 AK-47 were recovered from them, 21 dung guns, 500 live ammunition, and other weapons, including a rocket launcher, was recovered from all of these suspects. And the first spokesman yesterday said that they've been arresting them in the last 2 weeks, and that in the last 1 year, a lot of this armed robbery have been ongoing in all of these states and has increased the
especially that Kaduna,
security.
Abuja-Kaduna highway has been very notorious.
Everybody is now doing the train.
Yes, because a lot of politicians have been arrested on that highway. People have been, I mean, and I'm so happy that at least we're making headway. But hopefully we can convict some of these suspects that are found guilty. Yes,
I wanted to join the bandits who abducted 7 people, including a baby in Zamfara, with this same story that Kike just took. You can imagine the person reporting, the resident who was the eyewitness, Ibrahim Mohammed, was saying that the suspects came and killed 2 people because they were shooting into the air to scare people, and the kind of arms that they brought. So when Kike took the rocket launcher, he said, I was, pained. The kind of weapons that these people have. We pray that the police will continue to have success stories in nabbing them.
And we congratulate the police too. Well done to them. Well done. Because when they do their jobs, we should commend them. Oh, Loom, Ponzi scheme. It started again. You've not recovered from MM. Go ahead, Tokwe.
Miss Mary Udwak, who is the acting director general of SEC. SEC controls all the proper, Security and Exchange Commission, controlling proper investments, is saying that Loom is a Ponzi scheme. It's a pyramid structure. It has no business. There is no investment. It is just a process where one person pays the other, and at a point there'll be nobody to pay the next one. And so he also mentioned that unlike MMM, where there's a website and they could trace the accounts and office, Loom operates strictly on a Facebook private group. So there's no way they could even shut it down or close it. So the appeal is to Nigerians to be wise. Don't fall for the same thing that happened to those that fell for MMM and all of that. So
what's the word? A word is enough for the wise. So if you like, listen.
Another quick story. The Nigerian Editors Guild of Nigeria, the Nigerian Editors Guild went to visit the Vice President yesterday, and the head of the team, Mrs. Funke Gemode, was mentioning how the print sector is suffering, and that most of these print newspapers it's not sustainable, and they have to be neutral. They cannot be on any side of any political party, and so it even creates more bottleneck for them to access funds. That they would want the federal government to step in and give them.
I agree on
give them some form of loan. No. Give them. There's a word they used what they did for grants to support them financially and give them access to import materials used for printing affordably. So they can get access to quality material to print at reduced rates.
What will even help also is for people to invest in printing down here so that they're importing this material
and increase the what's it called, employment in Nigeria.
Yes, wouldn't that affect editorial control? I mean,
no. But if it's from the government, they will be. It was. She said that it is she said the meeting was fruitful, being that the vice president has offered that they're going to have meetings with Emefiele. What they're asking for is what they've done for the power sector and all all of that. So it's like, just give us bailouts, support this, give us access to a flexible exchange rates.
Doesn't that affect? So next tomorrow, a new party comes in and it affects editorial.
No. Once this bailout is given, these are established press media houses, and they know what the funds are for, and
we need them. We need the media.
Okay, let's move on
investigations
to the Punch, as print is reading off, and online is obviously the future. The Punch, Paris Club refund, FG set to pay 649 billion. We'll take that in Sun. Let's take a few other. Ekiti, sacked 2,000 workers employed by Fayoshi. That's my father-in-law calls him Fayoshi. Bandits seized 3-month-old baby, 6 others in Zamfara. Lagos-Abeokuta Road, residents groan as contractor stops work. Governors back financial autonomy for states, legislatures, and judiciary. And INEC postpones Bielsa Kogi governor polls. Let's take the Fayoshi story. Who has that story? Go ahead.
I thought you wanted to take the story.
Is your in-laws?
So Ekiti, the current Ekiti State Governor, Fayemi, has let go of the 2,000 people that were employed under the previous administration after his election had taken place. So we remember I remember us taking this story then and wondering, why would Fayoshi employ 2,000 employ 2,000 people just after he knows that his person isn't winning the election. And while they were also still struggling to pay salaries at the time. So when Fayemi got in, contrary to expectation that he would just sack everybody, he carried out a detailed investigation into what was the process of employing these 2,000 people. And obviously there were loopholes. So he has let them go. The Labour person in Ekiti spoke up that you can't just sack all these people. And he said there were discrepancies in the process of employment, and we would revisit them and see on a need-to one-on-one basis each of them that qualify. We're also going to audit every position we have available in Ekiti State, and then they will release it for official people to come in to apply
exactly.
properly.
That's exactly the story. But interestingly, Fayoshi provided a nice, in fact, it's not like a script that has already been prepared since last year. That this is wickedness. And we're thinking, why did you hire them in the first place?
Exactly.
I mean, it just made perfect sense. I mean, it's unfortunate, though, that these 2,000 people had to be let go. That had to let go. But the truth is that proper audit was carried out and investigation, and realized that these were totally unnecessary employed
and as we're going out of this current administration, I think every governor that is leaving should stop creating craters and creating problems, because it's your people that will still suffer.
Let's move on to the Lagos-Abeokuta Road.
Unnecessary expectations from these people.
The Lagos-Abeokuta Road.
Yeah, so the residents and the motorists plying along the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway yesterday expressed their dissatisfaction when it comes to the road, that the road is very, very bad, and the government, they are calling on the government along the area of Ogun State. I know Lima is ready to lash on this. Lamented that the condition of the road is very bad. Their cars are very bad. Yes,
he was flooded.
And as well as the security. The security of that place has been was compromised because a lot of attacks and the likes and all of that during the traffic road. Do you understand?
Yesterday till this morning as I was leaving, the traffic from the International Trade Fair had built all the way to Doba. You know that area. So the entire stretch of the road, all the gates on Festac, all the gates, first gate, second gate, third gate, taken over by trucks.
And we are not in the rainy season
because of a bad road ahead at the trade fair that government is oblivious to. They just don't know what is happening there. I don't understand how we have a local government chairman in Amu-Odofi, one at Oriade, Ojo, all these areas affected.
And we have a
then Nima has to be
talking. And aside, I think
the community,
from the contents in the paper, I think there was some person who lamented that twice she has been rushed to the hospital while she was in traffic. Do you understand? Because of bad roads.
Murayo, hold on. I will
work in progress.
You know, the situation there has spanned beyond 2 years. This particular situation causing these issues is still there. If government was not oblivious, there would have been problem solving and be proactive. But every time that they are reactive, when people are talking, they say, no, you don't understand how it is. And we have House of Reps members living.
There's another story about governors backing financial autonomy for legislatures and judiciary. That's good for democracy, but I don't know why the governors are backing, because it seems like it's totally going to be going to weaken their own
the amendment that is taking care of
the legislature.
Amendment of the 1999 Constitution. These are taking care of this. So the president had put up a committee to structure how it would work. And at that committee yesterday, the governors agreed that this was the right thing to do. And
it's a good thing.
The speaker for the Speaker of the House of Reps also said because of this lack of independence financially on the part of the legislators, the governors now run their states as fiefdoms, you know, as emperors.
So that's it's a good thing. We're happy. Hopefully that our House of Assembly will get some spine.
They'll be able to
can impeach if they need to impeach
and
investigate what is going on in their states, where their governor.
It's not in the papers. Can we move on, please? Daily Sun, please. This sounds like a way package for our governors. So 649 billion windfall for 36 states and FCT.
They should just pause this payment.
2 weeks to go.
Pause the payment.
And they're giving them this amount of money.
Pause the payment.
I don't understand.
But the Minister for Finance was saying how it will go. States who are owing will have their payments structured differently. She went on to talk about how, you know, the economic recovery and growth plan was structured in a way that we'll borrow to get out of recession and finally be able to pay and reduce.
I don't understand. So
she's explained that
within the next 2 weeks. Wait, hang in there. Are they getting it within the next 2 weeks?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's their welfare package so that they can sort themselves
they immediately put into judicious use. They're saying that the FG will monitor.
That's what they said.
Very detailed.
Hopefully, because if I'm leaving office and you're giving me clinical billion before 2 weeks,
you will not even get to bother for years.
All my uncles and aunties will become contractors one day. Hey, what are you talking about? It's not Nigeria. But finally, June 12 is official.
Yeah.
Democracy
Day. There's no public holiday on the 29th.
So June 12, we're excited about it. That's
June
good.
12.
That's what we call democracy. So we thank God that all the senators and reps have agreed in one thing. Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we have some topics, and we have a Royal Highness in the studio, an Oba. Let us be very respectful. Please, behave yourself. Oba will just
we are all well behaved already.
See now, Oba will not besele you before he leaves here. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
It's Friday, so we're gisting again. Ex-comedian Ayomako AY recently said that people often mistake being famous, people like Tokwe and Nima and Kike, as being wealthy. Are you wealthy? Yeah, famous, well, you're not wealthy, are we? Most especially when the famous person is an entertainer. According to him, most people don't know that many celebrities are just like models for the kind of fantasy lifestyle they wish to have. Now, what are your own thoughts on this? Join the conversation 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. This is close to home to us. I don't even think this issue concerns Nigerians because the matter affects us small. Because the way people just assume that you can pay their bills, you can send their children to school, you can help them buy everything. I was still hearing somebody this morning. Let me not embarrass the person. But
you don't mention the name, you just mention the situation.
In my house, somebody in my house just came and they come up with all these sort of stories and they just assume that you have.
Well, let me add one this Ramadan. So they send me messages and say, don't forget that we're fasting also. So I'm compelled to send something. Okay. And recently someone sent again and said, I've still not heard from you. And I have a long list. I've not even finished on the list. Before I now join you inside the list, it will take time. People just assume that, you're comfortable. You dress up every morning, you wear makeup, drive a nice car to the station. They don't know that I still borrowed money from my husband to fix my car. Just last week.
Right. So and the nice are not so nice car.
They are not so nice. And we were discussing yesterday.
Your car is even terrible.
The car comes out of the street every morning. No matter how washed it is, it comes out. Once it comes out, it comes out dirty. So I swim muddy waters out of the estate. But yesterday while I was making my DD, we're gisting and we're looking at some actors and actresses who have had to do drugs. They've actually had to do drugs to keep up this lifestyle, to have the money to live up. And I was like, and somebody was like, but they act film, they should have money. I said, but you are making my hair. And do I look to you? I work with TV. Do I live that life? He said, I know it's your style now, you that we all of us are tearing iffy. I was like, it's not iffy, we're on the same level.
I went to the dry cleaner the other day to drop my clothes, and she was complaining that she hasn't seen me in a long time. I said, all the clothes I wear is TVC's own now. When I remove it, they go and wash their things. So she thinks I'm wearing clothes every single day, thinking I'll come and drop these clothes. And I'm like, Auntie, no, I only wear house. My boo-boo in the house, we can wash it. The one that needs dry cleaning is maybe if I have a party. So she was shocked that she has not seen me in 3 months because I don't have any heavy clothes for dry cleaning. It's just normal, regular clothes. Yes,
so, For a long time, I've always said that my mentors and my motivators are not celebrities. That for me, it is Dangote, it is Tony Lumelu, it is people in that space who have attained being famous by the virtue of the hard work and the industriousness of their person and how they've gotten wealthy. But in entertainment, it's the other way around. People get famous without being wealthy, without having money. And I am happy that AY has given us the opportunity to talk about this on TV, because it is our everyday experience being on TV here that people feel that because you're on TV, you have access to the governor. Maybe you know the governor, but me what share? For mommy, I'm like wondering, honestly, I would love to. I don't know the governor. Do you understand? He's been on our show. I don't have, I don't have his number on my phone. Even if I have, he will not pick the phone. Simple. You know, so really, I would love to. And so we must draw the line in fame is not wealth. And you can be popular and not have money, and there are many people in that space. However, you can decide to follow people that have acquired wealth and learn how they did it. Some people on famous later become wealthy, using that fame they have to create an industry later. But most of the time, when they are acquiring that fame, they don't have money. Okay. AY said that they are like mannequins. It's like going to ask a mannequin that wears a designer clothes that the mannequin should give you the clothes. It is not their own. It's just showing it. I
didn't understand the mannequin analogy anyway. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mannequin based on what AY said, I think that the reason why the public believe that they need to demand from these people is based on their lifestyle. And apart from their lifestyle, their means. For instance, AY is one of those people arguably has one of the beautiful houses, you understand? And people portray your shows, your what's it called? Tickets for your shows, tickets, talent, your work, and all of that. Do you understand? You realize that most of these people, however, I might be wrong, I don't think that they really give back to the society. What do I mean by that? Most times, if they can engage in some CSR development where people know that you give back to the society, the public will not demand unnecessarily from you.
May I disagree with Kike on the giving back?
Yeah.
Because no matter how much you give back, people will demand higher. People assume, once they even see that you have a giving spirit, people tend to abuse it. I have suffered it in my small space. People tend to abuse it and assume you've done for so, and so, which we have seen, or maybe somebody said, help me to thank her, and then they come with their own list at the back, not knowing that you had those people and you plan towards helping them. I usually plan. I see a case and I say
Let me take this call. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Hello. Good morning, ladies. First-time caller.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Okay. So in respect of this discussion, being famous and whatever, I think there is, some blame should actually go to them. Yeah, because they flaunt their cars, houses, and then you see extravagant lifestyle, even if they are not as what they have, or probably what they don't really have. So you see some of these guys with big mansions, cars that they flaunt. Okay, for example, you see someone posting a Mercedes-Benz last week, and then in 1 month again you are seeing another Benz or a G-Wagon. So you are in an environment where, or probably in a country where you have most people who are jobless. That's why you find on Instagram, there are more beggars on Instagram and even more on their page, following them, asking for money, for food, for all that. So I think the part of the blame should also go to them.
They're part of the trouble. Okay, thank you very much, Boston.
So in most cases, you do a barter arrangement. The house that AY has is was an endorsement. He had, do you understand? They gave it to him so that he will flaunt it. And by consistently flaunting it, people that can afford it will come and buy it. So it's a business. That's why he said, we're models, we're mannequins.
And the street was named after him.
And the idea is... the idea is to use you, that you are famous, as an opportunity to get people to follow their brand. Aside from that, we have so many poor people around us. You can't scratch the surface. The average famous person has people that are sucking like leeches, family members and all of that. So no matter how wealthy you are personally as a wealthy person, as long as you are among poor people, you are poor. That's Yoruba says you are also as poor as your environment. And I think that when AY brings it up like this, we should have more people speaking up concerning this. AY should make the government understand that we have a responsibility as a people to the poor around us. You cannot just expect that we should just be endorsing you for political reasons alone.
I don't think that AY can rebut from the statements he has made because, number one, on his show, on each table, people pay 1 to 2 million naira to come and watch the show. That is one. If you can involve in community development initiative, do you understand, where people can now relate to you and say, okay, this is what you are giving back to the society. In as much as I understand that there are a lot of poor people around us, and yet there's no amount of people that you want to touch that will be enough.
A lot of celebrities actually do a lot of CSR. A lot of people don't know about it, but they do quite a bit of CSR.
But I
think personally, it's not even so much about how you portray your life. Because people like me say, I'm not doing anything. But people still come to you.
Exactly.
The only thing you see is a made-up Mariah on TV.
Exactly.
That's it. That's the only signal that makes you feel as if I have. And the truth is, trust me, this makeup, I can't stand it.
Let me add to,
Yes.
Kike, you're very correct. Tokwe is very correct. But the people begging also should learn contentment.
Yes.
Some people, before you can, like Jumoke says, before you can buy data or buy credit to send me credit, that means you could actually use that money to, if you look the other way to see an investment or something you could do with it. But you've insisted this is a lifestyle. And the Prophet says the hand that is always taken is below and the one giving is always up. So know that the person that you're collecting from will continue to have and you continue to be in that position.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back,
condition.
there are lots of topics and our guests will join us soon. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So, welcome back. In other stories, comedian Adetoye has given reasons why he believes African men cannot be as romantic as their American counterparts. According to him, how can an African man, with all the loads, the African loads, school fees, house rent, electricity bills, in-law, wahala, even his own age parents, how can he become romantic? Do you agree with him? You can join the conversation 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourVTVC so we can read the tweets. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was saying that, listen, this issue of romantic, we are Africans, Mariah. Stop, you people put so much demand on us, like we are African, we are different. I have lived abroad for X amount of years. We are just different. You cannot be expecting us to be doing flowers and be doing, that's not who we are. And I'm like, is that a statement of fact or is it just his own personal view? Can an African man be romantic?
No. I think that we're a function of our environment, largely. And we don't live in a romantic environment. It's not beyond the bills, because there are rich people that can pay all the bills who are still not romantic. So it's not just about the fact that you have lots of bills and all of that. I just think that our men are wired to be masculine, strong. So we raise men to be strong. We don't raise men to be loving, caring, romantic. It's the strength that we focus on.
When you say you're a function of our environment, because I remember, I think grandma was abroad, and seeing old people just playing around, going to bowling alley. Because for them, they are just, she's like, they're thinking of so many things, and it's like every other person is happy. So if we're a function of our environment, should we then accept that our men are not the romantic type?
No, I disagree.
No, I disagree. Mo, how did they woo us? There must be some level of romance now.
No, it's not
some people did not romance.
There's arrangee.
I want to marry you. What's your daddy's house?
Marry her, simple.
No. Maybe it's not an individual.
Be your own life.
You understand? For me, there must be some level of romance. There must be some level of connection. Do you understand? However, I know that a typical African man believes that his form of romance is by is by breadwinning. Do you understand? It's by paying bills and the likes and all of that. But you need to also understand that women, do you understand? Women, you have to connect to them emotionally. The reason why some homes break today is because of that romance, that little romance. Everything is not money.
Do you understand?
In Africa.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Wait, listen. A woman who is maybe 45 years old.
Yes.
And wants to settle down. Is she waiting for romance? Come on, romance me if I will just say, please, are we ready for this thing? Let's do this thing.
For me,
I mean, let's be factual.
Hold on,
you are ready for this thing called marriage. You've been there, done that, and you're ready. Do you think you need romance?
Let me ask this question. What is your definition of romance? What is your definition of romance?
Exactly.
What
Let me
is
start
yours
with
and
Kike.
yours?
What's your definition
Because
of
mine
romance?
certainly is... I'm sure
Wait, Auntie, what's your own definition of romance?
Okay, my own definition of romance is, first of all, you have to connect with me.
How?
In terms of intellectually,
Okay.
1. 2, I must be able to gist with you.
Okay.
3, my love language is words. I must be able to, I must be able to get some affirmation from you. Do you understand? Okay, you love me, blah, 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 and all of that. Before gifts can come in. Though my own love language is giving. Do you understand? When I start giving you gifts, you should know that I love you. But from my own man, those are the 3 things that is paramount to me first before
So that's romantic. I'm
a romantic person.
Yes, and actually,
From Agoda's point of view, he's married and is complaining that he's unable to be romantic to his wife. So I think the wife's definition of romance is what is not meeting.
Yeah.
For me, my own definition of romance is not whether all those things. Yes, an African so you see to all your bills, you take care of me and my children, and the house is well provided for. But I love the simple respect, the subtle respect, the appreciation.
Right.
So maybe, you know, you're an amazing woman.
Right.
For me, that's romance. If you don't give me gifts, just
Yeah.
subtle appreciation regularly, and you know.
very good. I think so. I
I'm
think
not
thanks for
listening.
Nima. Thanks Nima for bringing us to that, because it's actually about the definition. How do you define romance? Let's take Alhaji Tijani. Morning, sir.
Morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I'm
Morning.
the first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum, my sister. How are you?
Alaikum salam tullah. Very well, sir.
Well, this topic you are discussing today is really happening today right now in my house. Well, I have a lot of things on my mind, but my madam will not understand. Like, a lot of people, a lot of pressures on me. At times, I just come home, say, okay, madam, let's even enjoy this thing. I say, no, she don't. She not call me like that. You don't leave somebody at home like that. You don't leave a doll or you don't mean at home. I think you just be romantic for once. I said, okay, madam, these things are it's not easy. A lot of pressure.
It's very easy, no?
I want to make up the family to be cool, to be light. I need to go out because everybody should, okay. Even I felt, wasn't the people yesterday, because I tell us that my 2 at Becca. I was inside immediately after Celeste. At least my sister will understand what I'm saying. The people that are black down well. From Celeste to Lhasa, just like 2 minutes. We spent another hour. After I did my fast,
Because of the traffic.
Okay.
So you're
All
stressed.
right. Thank you very much, Mr. Alhaji.
Yes. So, like Alhaji, I feel a lot for the African man, because the African man is brought up to be strong, and society is putting a lot of pressure on him. So he has no time for romance. Even if it is quality time, is words of affirmation. By the time he gets back home, he doesn't want to say anything. He has cursed everybody on the road. They have cursed him. They've shouted at each other. When he gets home, he's not in the mood to be telling you, oh, sweetheart, you look good. You are lovely. You are the best wife in the world. All he wants is give me hot food. Let me chop. Let me enter the room. And so there is no room. The pressure is much. There's no societal... There's nothing ameliorating the pressure on the man. So the average man is catering for his parents and catering for his in-laws, catering for relatives, children, and every health challenge. It's not like you can go to the hospital and get access to good health care. You will need to pay through your nose.
Thank you for bringing us to that, because you see, sometimes we need to have this hard conversation with ourselves. Do we demand unnecessarily attention or unnecessary things, perks from our husbands when we know the kind of pressure they're under? Because women, a lot of marriages break, as Kike has rightly said, just because of these kind of things. Oh, you used to give me flowers. Oh, you're always there. And then the man has so much on it, and still you complain and demand the same thing. So can we find a middle ground? This issue of romance, how would you redefine romance? After, maybe initially your romance was, my own romance is candlelight dinner. I like to go out. That's the only thing I demand of. Take me to dinner. I love to go. But my husband doesn't understand that. He rather cook in the house now. Let us eat. We're all right. But I have redefined romance, because I understand that he doesn't understand that. So would I come and kill myself because he's not taking me out to dinner? No, I have redefined. Because even if you stay in the house, but you want to stay in the bedroom. No, but we'll sit down and just here. We eat Saiba and be all right. I've redefined romance. So are women finding it difficult to redefine romance, or they insist, no, this is what romance must be. If you don't do it, I'm out of here.
I think that leads to conflict of expectations. And what do I mean by that? I understand that when you meet a guy, do you understand? Yeah, the romance and the likes and all of that. But when you marry, the reality sets in, because the man has to now pay his manhood responsibility or demands. Do you understand? But along the line, the woman should also be should be able to support the men or the underhand by appreciating them and, you know, praising them, because most men like praises. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm talking about
Especially
that.
with the
Let's go
fact-
to the issue of romance, but let's go on a break. When we come back, Oba, our guest, takes a seat, and we'll ask him if he's romantic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So he is the king of Ososa land in Ijebu. Ososa land. Ososa land in Ijebu-Ode, and a medical doctor by profession. He's dedicated, and more importantly, he loves and trusts the culture of our people, which enhances peace and economic development. He has also received several awards. Welcome with us, Begonde of Ijebu. Begonde of Ososa land. Oba Dr. Adetoye Mojeed Alatise. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure for me to be
You can
here.
call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. I'm laughing because my producers practice with me to get that name, so I apologize. Right. Before we even go into talking about the real issues of Obaship in the Southwest, let's just hear your thoughts on this, our hot topic. Are you a romantic man?
Well, I couldn't miss, but overheard some of your discussions. And I want to suggest that it is not true that our men are not romantic.
Thank you.
It's not true.
Okay.
When you look at it, it could be the pressure of these days, but in the days of our forefathers, and I remember during our own generation, was typically romance in secondary school. Even when you are going for a lady. And some of them will write you beautiful letters. I still remember some of the letters some of my old girlfriends wrote, telling me when I was traveling abroad that roses are kinekon, you know.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies to me too, the way I approach it. And I know that most of my mates then too, even now. But the point is that when people finally get married, it is true that men are busy running after taking care of the family. And then they are less. But the part of the job is also for wives to make sure that they make their men more romantic. Create time for them, going out, go to movies, go to, on holidays as well.
You can't afford it.
I just came back 2 days, even though we are in Ramadan. I went with Olori 2 days to Abeokuta just to rest.
How many Oloris do you have?
That's the point. I thought we would talk about that one later. We are in Ramadan. I have only one.
Okay.
But I would have loved to come. Maybe I'll come back some other time when it's not Ramadan, because I've been looking. I think the reason why Kikeya was nervous was because she was worried whether and Olori will be asking me later, did you see that beautiful one sitting next to you? But sincerely speaking, we have a thing about it in Ososa. Maybe I should just say it now. They say Obas are supposed to marry more than one wife.
Okay.
And when we came on board, I brought out a solution. I said, look, I am aware that I can have more than one wife, but the fact is this: anybody who is interested in marrying me must write an application to the Olori. Once she approves,
so it's who should make the offer, not you.
Yeah, but then 8.5 years running now, she has not approved anyone. I think we need to tell her. Oh, yes, I think so. We have many beautiful themselves in Ososa.
Kabiyesi, you should apply your powers to Besele.
No, what is that?
The woman must be happy about it. By tradition, by everything. The Olori must approve. And I believe as we
so
grow
we already
old,
approve our yellow papa for you like this. I know you're not available, but just in case.
She's not qualified anymore. I think she also said it deliberately that, our kids, I late in Soromo. So she's telling me directly, Baba, don't look there.
Sir, over the past few weeks, we've seen many things happening within the traditional and cultural setting, and a lot of political influence. There's breaking of emirates. There is an Oba in the southwest going to create Obas in diaspora. What is happening to our culture, and why are we allowing politics influence our cultural scape in Nigeria?
Well, that's a very good one. It's all over the place, and it's really interesting that it's coming up now. It used to be so, too, in those days, but not as rampant. Our traditional father, royal father, who is still there today, the longest reigning monarch in Ijebu, or probably in Nigeria, Adetoye, of Ijebuland. Even during the days of late Alatise Onabanjo, the governor of, I think it was the first civilian governor of Ogun State, there were issues. And the governor tried to depose him for political reasons because he was in another party, and Baba was a party, a political, and they wanted the paramount ruler to support them. So it has always been on, but I think these days, either because of the proliferation of politicians, it has been, and then in any case, we are more aware there is social media all over the place, and anything happening in a place, it's all over the world.
Then Oba Frederick Akinrutan recently...
Olugbo of Ugboland.
Recently elected some Obas, diaspora, I think in Liberia, I think...
there was one guy also from Ijebu, my area, who lives in, I think he lives in Atlanta. I am particularly concerned about that guy because he knows that it's a taboo in Ijebu. He's an Ijebu guy, he lives in America, and he calls himself an Oba. What really happened was that one of the Obas, you know, as usual, one of the jobs of Obas generally is to award honorary titles to people. And I think he was awarded by one of my, colleagues in Ijebu land. And when he got to America, he changed it to Akile. Akile is a title that can only be used by a traditional Oba in Ijebu. So he now came home one time. He came to the palace. We were doing something in Awujale Palace. But you see, the guy, he removed his cap. He wanted to go and greet Baba. But we saw him, he was wearing a bead like this, which is actually taboo. If you're not a traditional Oba, you are never coronated. You are not supposed to wear a beaded cap. So, but he was doing that, and he had to remove it. Then he prostrated, and when he left, he put it on again, and we were going to order somebody to go and seize the cap. I think he knew that, ran into his jeep and drove away. He was one of those people that went to Odo, to Ugboland. The thing with that Oba Frederick Akinrutan did is pathetic.
Okay, before we even go to how pathetic it is, but what many people find even more pathetic is that he believes he's superior to the Ooni of Ife.
Yeah.
Well, the issue about superiority had always been there.
Okay. So he is superior?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Culturally, Yoruba people will believe Ooni is the #1 traditional ruler. Whether in government or outside government, people usually defer to Ooni in a situation where all traditional rulers are sitting down, particularly Yoruba Obas. Because he had precedents, he had other Onis that were very, very famous. One of the first Oni in recent time was Oba Aderemi, who was even the governor at one time of Western Nigeria. So you can imagine if Oni had been the governor of Western Nigeria at that time, he actually sworn in, I think it was Akitola, the premier of Western Nigeria at that time. So it has always been that Oni was #1 position.
Okay, sir. So mainstream politics and monarchy are converging strongholds of governance in Nigeria today. How do you see these two playing out in a positive and developmental role in Nigerian progress?
Well, okay, because you have also said so many things together, I think we will have to go back to the issue of leadership. You know, a leader of a nation or a people determines the direction of governance. So be it traditional or this political government, we believe that our government should begin to realize that if we don't know where we are going, we should know where we're coming back from. What is called governance is Joba in Yoruba. In those days, before the advent of the Oyinbo people, the country was managed by traditional rulers. And up till now, they know that, but the Oyinbo people surreptitiously took away that power. And when they gave us independence, our people too who were trained took the power away. Now they don't know what to do with it because in the rural areas, even in some urban areas, like we had in Lagos the other time, the pronouncement of Obariwa and Akeolu when it came to who the Lagosians and people who live in Lagos should vote for. People still defy a lot to traditional rulers. And I think it is just, I don't want to call it competition, but I think the politicians should learn to respect traditional rulers.
Okay. Let's talk about the Olu of Iwo, that's Mobarashid Akambi, was talking on the issue of what the Olubo of Ugulan did in coronating kings outside the kingdom. And he mentioned that the Alafin of Oyo, the Oni of Ife, remained silent while the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò replied, calling on the Olubo, in other terms, meaning that a commoner now has recourse to disrespect a king, which shouldn't be the norm.
No, I think you are going into the area without being well informed.
Okay.
Wọ́n ní erin kì í bí ní ìjọ. That is to say, an elephant don't give birth in the open space. Our traditional fathers, this is those paramount rulers, it's not as if they are happy with the event, but they don't join issues on social media like we do. And if Chief Gani Adams, who is a highly respected chief, because Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is not a joke. We are the one who are trivializing the issue. If you remember the past Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, we are talking of, the last one was Basharun Abiola, if I'm not mistaken. We've had other eminent personality then. I think he's doing his job by trying to protect the traditional institute. For me, the Obas are the good time, but we have forums. I can tell you that where Oni has said what we think we should say to us, the traditional rulers. The same applies to Alafin Oyo. But competition between paramount rulers, powerful people, is all over the place.
Sir, on the front page there comes to my own Oba Akiolu, and I'm trying to choose my words carefully because he's been popular for saying a lot of things. And I mean, if it was back in the day, once Oba said it, is done. Right. But now people seem to question and object. Why would he get involved in this? Recently, he said that the former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, has demystified his hold or his strength or influence on Nigerian politics and all that. And people have started saying, how can he talk like that? In your view, how distant should Obas be in politics?
You are correct. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like I'm here today on invitation, and I have to talk about developments in the country. I think majorly we have really come a long way in international journalism, and basically we have no choice because it's a global world. And so what I'm trying to say is that when people see traditional rulers, either at occasions and things like that, and you stick mic in their face, you expect them to say something. And don't forget that some of these people too are enlightened, they're exposed, they've been to different countries. But if our people will keep the tradition of also keeping traditional rulers out of politics, maybe we'll have less of this. Oba Akiolu is also my mentor. My wife incidentally is from Lagos. I also grew up in Lagos. And he has something that it's a saying that he loves to say a lot, and I also repeat it, which is Oba Lanje Aje Ojo Ori.
It's not by age. It's not
by
age.
So periodically, he defers to age. And so when he sits down sometimes, either with kingmakers or chief or prominent citizens of Nigeria, sometimes he tries as much as possible to be down to heart. And so when he's saying a few things, the tendency is to take it out of
context. Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll still have our guests with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Tokwe, go ahead.
So there's a challenge of lack of unity among leaders. We have one person is being disrespected by the political class, and because there's this undertone on the ground that politics is funding the culture, politics is funding the Obas. No Oba will speak up against injustice carried out by politicians just because they don't want to be on the wrong side without coming together to support someone that is being abused by power. Is that something you've seen? And what have you done to sort of speak up in cases like, we know what happened in Oyo? Nobody spoke up consistently against the fact that you cannot disrespect the Oba like this. You cannot appoint smaller Obas. Why don't we have that unity amongst our cultural leaders, our Obas, to speak up against anybody doing wrong, you know?
Well, it's, like I said, it's a problem that is all over the place. Even in corporate bodies, you have it. You know, if you've been members of, board, you will see that it's always people trying to fight for their own self. The Yoruba people will say it about Funwere Loko, Akosodare. In the world all over, I don't think Nigeria is different. And I don't want to begin to pick examples like what happened in Ibadan or what is presently happening in Kano. The fact is that when people got power, the tendency is to want to misuse it. And as you mentioned, traditional rulers are more like subjects of governance. Let's put it like that. And until we begin to change our constitution, which we are clamoring for. The traditional ruler, I heard earlier on when you discussed the, what was it now about the legislative, the autonomy of legislative, judiciary, and so that they can have a degree of independence. That's how it used to be, governors controlling, who even becomes members of House of Assembly. But I think until they begin to do that to the traditional institution, the constitution is there. You know, what goes to traditional rulers are supposed to go straight to them. But is that what happened? Really? No, yes. The fund goes to the governor then decides what goes to
Let me take this call from Anne. Morning, are you there?
The money.
Morning.
Yeah, it's government.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mariah.
Morning.
Yes.
I want to talk about the robot issue about men.
Okay,
Most
go ahead.
of the time, we are talking about, like the KBS is talking about during their time. Truly, through their time, men are romantic. That brings me to the time when, in my last year birthday, my husband was a fan forgetting about birthday. When I told my father-in-law, and I told him that today's my birthday, he was, hey, as your husband wish you happy birthday? Yeah, I was just happy. He said, thank you for telling me. He now called my husband. Truly, my husband forgot my birthday. He was not angry that, he has never forgotten about his own wife's birthday since. And before I married into as I married into the family, there was a day my sister-in-law told me, was just me newly as I got married. He told me that his father loved their mom our mother loved their mom very well, to the extent that he can even lick her foot. That was those days. Now, in fact, my husband came back that day, brought all our shoes. Okay, Daddy was angry with me. But most, in fact, guys of these days, they don't care. Because they are many ladies.
Thank you very much, Jane, for sharing your views. I don't even remember my own birthday. But go ahead, talk about that's the question. Nima, go ahead.
He's answered the question already.
Yeah, Nima, go ahead.
Okay. So, the traditional stool, you mentioned the paramount rulers, and the Awujale of Ijebuland is one of them, has been desecrated a lot of times. During the last primaries in Ogun State, because of certain actions of the governor, that stool was again disrespected because the Awujale was present at the Ojude, and people had recourse to be attacking the governor. How much enlightenment do the people have of the sacredness of this stool still in present day? Are we still aware of how important?
Let me add to that before you answer the question. Even with the Olubadan, when Governor Jimoji created those small hours, we didn't see a lot of people stand up. People just kept mum. Somebody should have stood up against the governor. Like, what you're doing is wrong. But everybody just said, let's see how it played out.
And what Morayo said, you addressed earlier, but the subjecting the royal stool to a commissioner within the governor's office, or, you know,
that's it.
What are you doing to change that? What can we do to change that? Because now
we are talking about it. We have a forum. We have more than one forum. We are talking about it. There's another meeting of Yoruba Obas, I think in June, in Ibadan. because now we have more educated and enlightened professionals in the overship. The issue about why didn't somebody stand up and react when a governor is saying something,
Exactly.
I think we know exactly what we are talking about, because nobody will go and stand in front of a moving trailer. Governors are so powerful. They are that powerful that they also have immunity, as you know that. But it's happening all over the places. Even in my own community, we have such issues where a strong, powerful, rich man thinks he can just harass the Oba. But you have to be careful also in dealing with it. A number of people don't feel good about it the way you are also talking. I don't even think it's a number. A lot of people don't feel good about the sacrilegious disrespect to Obaship. But the fact that they kept quiet didn't mean that they love it. Don't forget that even the people that are being favored by one governor.
Meant to be self-serving. You're supposed to be serving the people and be willing to sacrifice
let
your
me take this
finances for the good of the land.
That's true.
So if the reason most of us are not speaking up, and we must say it's the way it is, they are not speaking up because their money is coming from the government. So when you are Oba and you are waiting for money,
not just that alone, because let's be fair, how much is it that is the monthly stipend of Oba?
Look up billion.
If you are not a professional, no.
I'm just throwing figures out there.
No, who said that? If I tell you how much I get paid monthly, you'll be shocked. It's not even enough to pay my personal staff. But let me say, a governor has so much power that without even consulting you, he can suspend you.
Can dethrone you.
He can depose you.
But that shouldn't
That's
be.
exactly.
Let me take this call. This man has been holding for a while from Lekki.
Until we get our constitutional rights, in which Obas must have constitutional roles, that's what we are talking about.
Let me take Fola. Fola, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Now, I think there's a misrepresentation in what Tokwe said about what happened in Oyo State, in Ibadan, to be specific.
Okay.
Now, the situation in Ibadan is actually a promotion for the Oba, for Oba Olubadan. The issue is we want to be static. We don't want... Life is dynamic. What is happening in... I schooled in Ile-Ife, and Oni is not the only king in Ile-Ife. There are other kings under him. You have people, the king at Ikpetu, Mudu. You have other kings there. There is Oba Lufon. Now, the candidate that is talking there also is a lesser king to the king at Ijebu.
Yeah.
There are other kings in other kingdoms under Ijebu. The same thing with Ibadan. Ibadan has lower settlements like Omeadio, like Ido, like other places. So they have kings which should be reporting to Olubadan. That's what the governor did. He promoted him to be the Imperial Majesty in Ibadan. So lesser kings will report to him.
Okay.
But the situation is politicians now misinterpreted the whole thing just to fight the governor. I think we should set the record.
Thank you very much for that review. Let me let you... Do you agree?
No, that's not true at all. And I'm sure he knows.
He's just trying to...
It's like telling, you see, there are traditions and cultures, some of which the Oba is the paramount or prescribed authority. The same way the governor of that state was saying he is the constitutional authority, and people didn't even like that expression. Now, there's a house for tradition. You can give them suggestions and say, Kabesi, we want you to go and discuss this thing. Those people that he said the governor promoted were lesser chiefs to the Oba. So, without his consent, like if I tell you what is happening in my town, you'll be shocked. Traditional town hall, known town hall, somebody surreptitiously gave people money to go and demolish it without my consent, without my knowledge, without the knowledge of everybody. But he managed to convince a few people to go and do it. Give and take that the lesser chiefs in Ibadan will have loved to become Oba, but do they have an agreement in the whole house? Was it discussed at the House of Assembly?
Was the Oba carried along?
Was the Oba carried along? Was it discussed in the House of Assembly? You just go. They have there are rules that guide the traditional institution of each town.
Okay.
So suddenly somebody just come and decide that this lesser chief. No, it's never done.
We have to go on a break because I know you're also a doctor and you have businesses in Ibadan. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we know Ijebu people are very successful. You're a doctor. Tell us a bit about some of the it's so adjusty. Okay, no problem. So tell us about some of the prominent people from Ijebu that you work with, because we know that they say that you are stingy, but yet you keep your money for parties. So tell us a bit about the prominent people amongst you.
Well, I must confess that I am glad and surprised about the fact that I invariably became an Oba. Even though from secondary school, like I told some people, I used to play the role of Oba. And the reason I was playing Oba's role in secondary school, Yoruba plays, because I know they will give me an Olori. And that's all. Then she can end up to be my girlfriend. But after we graduated and I became a doctor, I decided I was going to work in Ijebu because my father was very old. My father was like 80-something. Right. And he was very kind to all of his children. So when I got the employment, it was a federal government employment right from those days. So I came to Nigeria, I decided I would work in Ijebu. So that made me become a personal or family physician to a number of prominent families, like the Okunawas, the Shubomi Baloguns, the Ogundes. Even the Ogunde was in Ososa. Ososa is just a few kilometers, maybe 2 or 3 kilometers from Ijebu. By now, in fact, it's practically become a suburb of Ijebu. So I had many families that I was taking care of their, health care. And that actually made me become more popular among our people. And so invariably, when politics came, it was easy for me to become the local government chairman of Ijebu.
Sir, let me take Yakub, then I'll come to you. Yakub, are you there?
Hi, I'm there. Good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Sir, I want to throw a question to you, sir. I believe all these are government politicians in general. The way they talk to others in this land, and then all what they normally did, according to what you said earlier in Ibadan, and then presently in Kano State. Sir, I'm of opinion that because of these politicians, in terms of security, do you think Obas, Emir, they have the role to play in security? Because in the olden days, I believe every village, every state have the way of protecting their people in the olden days. What happened now? That we find difficult to allow the Oba to play a major role in terms of to secure our environment.
Fantastic question, Koyabu. That was a good question. Let me because we have a short time. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, he's made a very valid point. The only thing he did, he has failed to understand, and I've said it before, not until we begin to get our constitutional role entrenched in the Constitution. Most of us in all their towns, various towns and villages, spend their own personal resources to make sure that there is security. I know of my own example, and I know of so many examples of my colleagues. We are involved into taking care of even paramilitaries. We have issues of making sure that our police live in a very good environment, and these are just by the way from our own post. We take care of vigilante, all kind of different vigilante organizations, and then the traditional ones as well. And that is true with all Yoruba Obas, because I'm not even too sure that it is not the same with Obas who are not even Yoruba. The traditional thing is that when an Oba goes out or says something, with the town crier, people tend to believe it and tend to stick to it.
Okay, sir, by your profile, sir, you're a world-class doctor. What can you say about your contribution towards the healthcare development in Ogun State?
Well, okay, fair enough. I never thought we would get to that place. After I left office as local government chairman, I was already an Oba by that time. And then the governor then, Atumagbon Gadane, was to, they were to constitute what they call Primary Healthcare Development Board in the state. So he called me and asked me if I wanted to be the executive secretary, and I said yes. So I took that office up, and I was there till I went and became Brigadier of Ososa. And even after that, I'm still into attending, health issues, health programs. in Ososa, my town, for instance, recently we won the best primary health care center in the whole of Ogun State.
Wow.
And that is, yes, and that is not just because I was sitting down there, because it has to do with all the things, positive things that I brought to the place. We got one of our sons, he doesn't like people mentioning his name, he just says he's Ososa. He built a surgical theater for us.
Wow.
I'm not too sure that it's a primary health center that has a surgical. And why did I request that? I'm a professional, I'm a trained doctor.